So I finally came up with a name for the show, and it took me a really long time to come up with this name, but I didn't want to do another episode without coming up with a name. And I think this name is the best name for the show. It's a little funny, it's a little bit of me, and it explains what I want to do with this whole entire show, which is just giving you guys golden hammers, also known as knowledge. But that is not the name of the show. The name of the show, wait for it, Don't Get Nailed. Yeah, Don't Get Nailed. That is the name of the show. Let me explain to you why I named it this. Now, as I told you guys, I wanted to start the show because I wanted to prove to myself that consistency is key, and I like building my airplane while it's on the sky. And as my airplane is growing, I want to name it. So now I came up with a name, Don't Get Nailed. I don't know, maybe it sticks, maybe it doesn't. Tell me how you guys like it. I think it's funny, and the reasoning behind it is extremely, extremely, extremely important. Because I actually came across this. Honestly, I don't even remember how I came up with the name. I think I was driving to Ventura, and then this is why I love my drives to Venturas, because sometimes all I get to do is just think. And I was thinking with the name, and then all of a sudden this came up to mind. So I wanted a name because I want to add some segments to this entire show, because really what it is that I'm trying to do is just go ahead and give you guys knowledge that I attained over my years from other people, from other experts, and just pass it on to you. Because look at this, Don't Get Nailed. It has a lot to do with my life and what I do and how I see life and how I collect these golden nuggets, right? So how did I come up with this name? I have a lot of notes, so as you guys know, my brain can only retain so much knowledge, so I write things down. This is the best way to communicate with you guys. So I came up with this name when I started Googling golden hammers, and I didn't know there was a theory called the golden hammer theory, also known as the law of the instrument, also known as Maslow's law or Maslow's hammer. You guys may know this guy named Abraham Maslow. He's very popular, and he's actually known for creating this Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is another theory into the psychological health side of the world that predicates on fulfilling innate human needs in priority. Just to dumb it down for you guys, there's like this little triangle that usually everyone shows. It's called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, starting with the bottom. Honestly, that's a whole entire discussion for something else. I don't want to talk about it right now, but look it up on your own. It's really important, whatever. But this law, it's called the golden hammer theory. And I think that was originally going to be the name, golden hammer theory, but I didn't like how it flowed, and plus it wasn't that funny. It's cool. I'll probably get a golden hammer, just letting you guys know. But the golden hammer theory is also known as the law of the instrument, the law of the hammer, Maslow's hammer. What is it? It's a cognitive bias that involves an over-reliance on a familiar tool. Stick with me because I'm just going to dumb it down for you guys. This is my explanation on what this means. So what is it? Let me give you the definition, right? Word by word. It's a cognitive bias that involves an over-reliance on a familiar tool. Let me dumb it down for some of you guys, because I like to dumb things down. That's how I can explain things. For me, this is what it means. You see things in a certain way due to the knowledge you've come across. Abraham Maslow wrote this in 1966. If the only tool you have is a hammer, it is tempting to treat everything as if it were a nail. Now, this is the problem with everyone in our society, in the world. Really, I feel like most people don't realize that a lot of their solutions can be fixed. They can be fixed with just attaining the right amount of knowledge. The problem is that most people don't like to learn. Most people don't like to read. They don't like to invest their time into being better. And they stick with the same amount of knowledge they've accumulated over the years, which is usually bad knowledge. And that's why they never grow, because they never seek new information. So we tend to formulate our problems in such a way as to make it seem as the solution to those problems demand precisely what we already happen to have in our hand. That's what Maslow says. In psychological terms, this might involve relying on the same coping mechanisms when faced with certain problems, rather than using new solutions. This over-reliance can often maintain psychological difficulties and inhibit processes of change. What does this mean? A lot of times, people find that life is really hard and difficult because they don't know what to do. And the reason they don't know what to do is because they don't have the right knowledge. So they try to tackle on every single problem with the knowledge that they currently have. And if you're never seeking new knowledge, you're never going to solve issues. You're never going to solve your problems, and you're going to feel like the world is against you. So when I came across this, I honestly was flabbergasted at the fact that this is actually a theory, because this is one of the biggest issues that I see with everyone. And I tell everyone, you have to learn, you have to read, you have to gain skills, and the more you learn, the more you earn. That's really the whole entire way to develop yourself. And that's the point of this whole entire podcast. I want to show you guys my own development, and I want to bring on eventually experts in their fields that teach you about living a better life. And for me, living a better life means making more money, being healthier, having better relationships, and being happy. And you know what? Actually being joyful. Because I just found out that happy is a completely different word, and we're going to actually tackle that on later today between the definitions of happiness and joy if I get a chance. But the reason I chose this name is because all I want to do is provide you guys with knowledge to make your life better. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm being a little selfish because the knowledge that I get is going to be more for myself. Because again, I'll tell you guys, I make these videos not only for you guys, but also for myself. You know, I love to learn. I want to document my whole entire journey. I want to meet cool people doing cool shit. And that's the whole point of this whole entire channel. To make you guys better, to give you guys information, to give you guys golden hammers. So I am going to get golden hammers because I think it's cool to have a golden hammer. And every single time there is a piece of knowledge that I want you guys to attain, to take with you guys, I'll probably ring a bell or something. I actually did come up with like a little bell that I'm going to kind of steal from this one guy that I watch his podcast. Like, again, I mentioned him before. His name is Brad Lee. He does this thing with dropping bombs where he drops a bomb every single time. There's a piece of knowledge that goes out. I don't care if I'm a copycatter. I do not care because it's cool and I think it's sick, and I'm going to create my own little thing, something related to a hammer. And every single time I hear something that is very knowledgeable, every single time that I think you guys should keep this and take it with you guys are going to be hearing hammer noises. So I chose it because it's unique. It's what I want for the show. It's something that I can go ahead and claim for myself. There's no one else out there doing it. Let me go ahead and tell you guys pretty much a little bit more about the golden hammer theory, right? So it gets really, really more in deep. So in the beginning of the show today, what we're going to be talking about is just the golden hammer theory, why I want to go ahead and put this into the show, how it relates to my life, what I'm going to be doing with the podcast. And at the very end for you guys, if you guys didn't watch the last episode, I ended up going to Utah last week, and I went to Limitless Arena, which is a big conference event with a lot of great speakers in the space currently for business, for self-improvement, and I met a lot of great people, and I want to tell you guys about that. And I actually want to make a lot more episodes about everything that I learned because I took notes, and I'm going to take you guys with me. For those of you guys that couldn't go, you guys are now going to go and get the hot information of everything that I learned and everything that I'm applying, because ever since that trip, I came back so much more motivated that I'm ready to conquer the world, and it's ridiculous because I want you guys to do the same thing for yourselves. Before we get into all that, make sure you guys stay to the end so you guys can get all those pieces of knowledge of everything that I learned. You guys are not going to get everything. I'm going to split this up into different episodes. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the first speaker that I heard at the event, so make sure you guys tune in for that. But before we get started, let's go ahead and start back at the law of the instrument, the golden hammer theory, because there's a couple of things that I want you guys to ingrain, because this is really, really important if you want to live a better life. Now, there's a couple of factors that contribute to the persistence and influence of the law of the instrument. If you are not aware of the law of the instrument, you may be a victim of these three things. Cognitive laziness. Relying on familiar tools or approaches requires less cognitive effort than exploring new and alternative strategies, leading to a preference for a path of least resistance. What does this mean? Let me dumb it down for you guys. The golden hammer theory basically tells us a lot of people are lazy, and because they're lazy, they don't get the proper information to make their life better. So when a situation comes their way, they're going to use their previous knowledge to attack a certain situation, therefore not getting the results that are best suited for their needs, for their wants. So it causes people to be lazy. Laziness, as you guys will know throughout this whole entire show, is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people are not successful, why a lot of people don't get what they want in their life, just pure laziness. Another factor that comes with the law of the instrument is confirmation bias. Let me read you the smart people definition. Individuals may overvalue the effectiveness of their preferred tool or approach due to a tendency to seek interpret, or recall information in a way that confirms their pre-existing beliefs or expectations. Chris, dumb it down for us. What does this mean? This means that we are biased. We are biased based on what we know. And let me give you an example of this. There are times where we go ahead and feel like a victim, or we feel that we see a certain thing and we believe that's wrong because that's what we know. And we are biased towards certain things just because our familiarity, because of our backgrounds, because of what we know, all these little things. So we choose to rely on our previous knowledge and feel like, okay, I know how that works. I know what's better. And you choose to believe what you want based on what you know. And you never try to seek another person's point of view. One of the ways that I can kind of tell this is when we talk about like religion, right? Where the most common thing that I always hear is when it comes to God, right? Like God isn't real because why does God let bad things happen to good people, right? And because this thing happens, there is no God. And you don't try to seek any other knowledge because that's the only thing you believe in, and you're going to stick with your ways. Kudos. Now, another factor that is also highly affected in the law of the instrument is expertise bias. Professionals who have developed expertise in a particular method or technique may be more inclined to apply that expertise to various situations, even when it may not be the most appropriate solution. Let's dumb it down. What does this mean? Sometimes there are people who grow into a certain field, let's say doctors, lawyers, salesmen, right? Where they're so caught up in their work and all they think about is seeing things the way they see their work. Like say, for example, myself, right? Sometimes I don't catch myself where I'm always selling, where I'm always talking, and I always look at things and I'm always seeing things as a business. Even when I go to restaurants, right? I love business. It's wired in me. I love seeing how things work. I love systems and processes. I love how people just make money out of thin air. Every single time that I'm out, I'm like looking at the business. Okay, this is doing that. This is happening here. And I'm putting my mind as a salesman, as a businessman into things. And a lot of people do that when it comes to, like, say, for example, engineers, right? They start seeing everything. They start very systematic and they become less emotional. All these little details come into play when you've been living a certain way and you see the world based on the way you're living. And that is not always the best case scenario. You have to be able to see the world in many different views to get a better understanding of the solution of the situation, and so you won't be a robot and you can build better relationships. How do you fix all of these things? How do you not be a victim of cognitive laziness, confirmation bias, and expertise bias? To mitigate the effects of the law of the instruments, individuals can employ strategies such as these things: broadening skill sets, seeking diverse perspectives, reflective practice. Let's start with the first one. Broadening skill sets. Developing a diverse range of tools, methods, and approaches can help individuals avoid over-relying on a single strategy and facilitate more adaptable, context-sensitive, problem-solving decision-making. What does this mean? This means that you get higher skills, more skills, high income skills. And this is what I've been telling everyone. If you want to be better, you have to develop high income skills or more skills. You have to gain knowledge. You have to gain better skills. That's how you become better. Let's say, for example, I love teaching men self-improvement because I'm a man. It works for me. I know it works for me, and I know the reason why I am that I am. So let's put it into perspective, right? If you're a guy and you don't know how to dress, and all you know is what your parents taught you, and you're not dressing how the modern man should look like, or a better version of you, and you're not asking for help, you're going to continue to dress like yourself. You're going to continue to dress like someone who doesn't know how to dress, aka a loser, and never be a winner or someone that looks good in good clothes. I had this problem. I had this problem for a really, really long time. And it's hard for me to even talk about this thing because a lot of people don't believe me. A lot of people think that I always knew how to dress. I always looked good. I always had a good smile. I always had perfect hair. None of that, dude. I had none of this. I am not who I am today without going through some roadblocks, without getting more knowledge, aka golden hammers. In fact, let me tell you a story. There was a point in my life when I was in college where I didn't know how to dress. Honestly, even when I was younger, I used to wear orange, and it was the ugliest oranges. Even when I was in college, people used to make fun of me because I couldn't even put one and one together in regards of colors. For a really, really, really long time, I did not know how to dress. And as I went through my whole self-improvement journey, I realized that I need help from other people that I want things from, right? You grow as an individual when you ask for help. So I have a really great friend of mine. His name is Steve. I went up to him one day, and Steve he has style. He has style. And I told him, Steve, honestly, I want to improve my wardrobe. Help me. I suck at dressing. I really sucked at dressing for a really long time. And a lot of men do. A lot of men suck at dressing. I'm sorry, but no one ever teaches us how to dress, especially if you come from a background like myself. So I actually got Steve, and we went to the mall one day, and he literally just picked up all my clothes for me. He picked up all my wardrobes. He taught me how to put colors together. And now I'm able to dress for myself. I learned how to style myself, see what fits myself. Same thing with my hair. I had to go through a bunch of different barbers to see what fit my lifestyle, to see what fit my head, all these little things. But I asked for help, and that's getting new information. Really, if I didn't ask for help and I didn't get new information, I could have just Googled all it, but as I tell people, the fastest way to get what you want is to ask somebody else that already has it. Steve knows how to dress. I want to dress like Steve. We're the same skin color, so why not? And he was more than willing to help me because, like as I said, people are willing to help other people if you want the help. We're humans. We're naturally inclined to help other humans. It's a normal thing. So that's how you develop yourself to be better, get better skills, even when it comes to sales, right? I didn't know how to be a great salesman. It took me a really long time to learn sales. Now I know sales, and I still am looking for help. I'm still trying to sharpen this skill because it's an ongoing thing. It never ends. You think I'm going to dress like this forever? No, eventually I'm going to have to dress up like a señor and wear different types of clothes because I'm going to grow older and I'm going to have a different look, and eventually we're going to go into a different era and everyone's going to start dressing differently, and you're going to find experts in their fields. Look at it this way. You look at celebrities and you think that they all dress themselves. You don't realize that a lot of these people have actually stylists. Yeah, even Kim Kardashian has a stylist. Everyone has an expert in that field. They're getting knowledge from someone that's an expert in that field and the expert of the thing that they want to be good at. So you have to get skills and improve your knowledge base. And that's how you stay away from the law of the instrument and you're not a victim of it. Second thing, seeking diverse perspectives. Engaging with others who possesses different expertise, backgrounds, or perspectives can help expose individuals to alternative approaches and reduce the influence of the law on the instrument. I think we just covered this, right? Seeking other professionals. The first one would be more like Googling, right? Getting more skills, Googling all this information. The second one, which is my favorite, is getting help from other people who are already at the level that you want to be at. That's the best place. And I'm not going to go over it again. I just gave you some more examples. But at the end of the day is asking for help. The last one, reflective practice. Regularly reflecting on one's own decision-making process, assumptions, and biases can help individuals recognize when they may be over-relying on a particular tool or approach and encourage the exploration of alternative strategies. Look, at one point in my life, I was like most people, where I thought that I knew everything, I didn't need help, and I know it all. Wrong. I was wrong for a really, really long time. I do not know everything, and I can't think that I know everything. And ever since I stopped thinking that I knew everything, life has been getting so much better. In fact, one of the things that I try to do whenever I make a mistake, because I'm not perfect, I make mistakes all the time, is I reflect on my decisions. I try to reflect every single day. I try to reflect every single time I don't get a sale. I try to reflect every single month, every single year by putting goals, by putting procedures, by doing all of this, things that make me think about the situation, right? I try to look at things, where could I have done better, right? Even when it comes to talking to girls, there's times where you're going to say the wrong thing and you realize that you shouldn't have said that. Or talking to a client, right? Sometimes I go to my appointments and I notice that I said something that I shouldn't have said and I try to save myself. But better yet, I try to save myself for the next appointment. There's days where I don't get sales and there's days where I do. And the days that I don't, I start looking, okay, where could I have improved? Like say, for example, today, right? I went to an appointment. It was really great. I got a negative pre-close because they're just getting a house. So they said, no, we have to wait. And I started trying to overcome the objective effective. And I was so close because I brought it down to price, but I still got a no. There's things that I could have said that maybe could have pushed the deal through. Again, it's just living and learning. I'm not always at 100%. I try to be. That's why my habits and structures are in place. But even when I win, right? Sometimes when I do get a sale, not sometimes, always when I get a sale, I look at my situation. Did I deserve that sale? Was it a lay down? And if so, what were the reasons that that person bought for me? What did I do well? And how can I continue to do that? I do that every single time I go to an appointment, every single time I go to the gym, every single time I talk to a new individual, every single time a new experience happens, whether it's good or bad, I always try to reflect. In fact, even recently, I've been trying to reflect a little bit deeper, like even Alex Hermosi's, where I try to talk to myself, my future self, my 50-year-old self, and I try to see what kind of advice I would give myself, because I realize that I give really great advice. Some of the advice I should be taking for myself. It's okay. I'm now currently taking almost like a diary where I talk to myself and I reflect on my situations and I try to figure out where can I be better? How can I improve? How can I level up? And that's the next level that's going to take me to $500,000 a year or maybe more, definitely more. But yeah, it takes reflecting. It takes trying to figure out where can I have improved. And that's how you don't fall a victim of the law and the instrument. And that's why I thought this whole entire theory would be perfect for this show. I love it. The fact that don't get nailed is such a beautiful, funny, charismatic me type of name. Because when you guys know, come on, it's really obvious. Don't get nailed. For all you dirty cochinos out there, you know exactly what I mean, which is just get more information. Don't get screwed. That's what I'm trying to say is don't get screwed, cochino. I'm just kidding. Don't get screwed by everything in your way of trying to live a better life. I don't want anyone getting nailed by life. I don't want anyone getting screwed in life. And that's the point of this show. I don't want you to get screwed with life when it comes to your health, your money, your relationships, and your joy levels. I don't want any of that. I want you guys to live your best life. I want to live my best life, and you guys are going to see me through my journey. You guys are going to I'm going to bring other expertise who are living their own great life, and you guys can realize that you can build any great life that you want for yourself and for your family and whatever it is that you want. You do what you want with these golden hammers. You go build yourself a house. The beautiful thing also about this name is that I'm a contractor, right? For those of you who don't know, I am in construction sales, mostly roofing sales. I sell roofs here in the greater Los Angeles area. I'm a contractor, so nails are involved. In fact, we use galvanized nails that look like this. It's part of who I am. Nails, roofing, construction, reading, knowledge. I don't like getting screwed just as much as the next guy. I've been screwed a lot of times trying to get to the level that I'm at now, and I don't want you guys to get screwed. That's why for me, as I told you guys, I would rather be your guinea pig and experiment, buy courses from other people who are fake, and just learn as I go and basically invest into all the pieces of knowledge so you guys can get them and you guys can grow better with me and we can all live a better life, because I can't change the world, but I can change one person at a time. I can change myself. I can change those people around me. And for those of you who are watching my show, thank you so very much. I really hope you change your life with this entire show. So, ladies and gentlemen, we finally came up with a name. I'm so freaking excited. The next thing is coming up with a logo, coming up with a theme song, because these are things that I want for the show, because my favorite shows have these things, and I want to put them in my show. So I'm going to start to drop these videos more consistently. If anything, 2 videos a month. I'm going to try to get to 4 videos a month. If my editor can handle it, it's up to that guy. So don't hate on me, hate on the editor, especially the fact that we got so many things going on, guys. But yeah, I'm always learning. I'm always collecting hammers throughout life. I'm on a pursuit towards financial abundance, time, freedom, and joy. That's another thing, right? You know, these influencers, they try to twist their words and make themselves unique, blah, 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 blah. Well, here's my twist. My twist, because you guys have heard of all of Tai Lopez's famous, what is it? The 4 happiness factors: health, wealth, love, and happiness. Well, I have 4 factors, exactly the same, but in my terms, because I want to be unique, right? I'm on a pursuit towards financial abundance, time, freedom, and joy. That is what I'm on pursuit on. These 3 little things is what I want. I want a shitload of money. I want to do whatever I want whenever I want. And I want to be joyful while I'm at it. Because I soon found out that joy can mean a completely different thing. Content will all be related to those different things. So if you want financial abundance, time, freedom, and joy, Stick around for this show, subscribe, hit the like button, follow your boy on Instagram because that's where I'm mostly active. That is what the show is about. Pursuing financial abundance, time, freedom, and joy. I'm trying to make a lot of money with y'all. I want to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and while being joyful. That's the motto of this whole entire show. I need to get used to saying all that because I'm going to say that very, very much. Once I get past 1,000 subscribers, right, I will start reaching out to guests for you guys. I will have guests on this show. Believe me, I love talking to people. I have really strong relationships with a lot of successful people who do not mind coming on this show, teaching you real estate, teaching you business, teaching you self-improvement, teaching you social branding, everything, the whole shebang. I'm going to go out there. In fact, I'll probably just hire someone because I heard that I can hire someone specifically to do these DMs for me. So help me get to 1,000 subscribers because as this show grows, I will get better guests. And I'm going to ask these guests really juicy questions that are not asked in other shows because personally, I believe podcasts are getting overwhelmed with a lot of people just asking the same thing. Like I hate listening to a podcast that tells about another influencer that, okay, how'd you grow up, all these things. I like the podcast with certain theme, and Golden Hammers is a theme, and I'm going to have little, great things for you guys. So I'm excited for all of that, guys. When I do get my first 1,000 subscribers, I'll get you guys a couple of guests. I already have a couple of people who said yes, they want to come on, and they're going to provide some value for you guys. So make sure you guys subscribe and follow on to the show. Now you guys know how I picked the name. If you guys liked it, please let me know in the comments. But I want to give you guys some golden hammers that I got from the Limitless Arena show. If you guys didn't know, last week I was talking to you guys about relationships, how you need to build relationships with valuable people. And that was the goal. That was the agenda that I had while going to the Limitless Arena. I wanted to build valuable relationships with very, very cool people that are doing really, really cool shit. And I did. I met a lot of great people. In fact, I came to the realization that I am one of the most social people ever. I can literally talk to almost everyone. Yes, it's because I do sales. Yes, it's because all I do is talk, and I love to talk, and I have a mouthpiece that God gave me, and it is what it is, and I use it to very good use. So I made a lot of really great relationships, and I'll tell you guys about those throughout the show's episodes. But for those of you guys that don't know, Limitless Arena took place about, I think, 2 weeks ago in Utah. It was ran by this guy who is an influencer, a business influencer in Utah named The Muscle. Honestly, I saw this guy on Ryan's podcast, and this guy's story just kind of lit me on fire, where he's the type of guy where, you tell him he can't do something, he's going to do it, and he's going to prove you wrong, and he's going to laugh at you after. And I love that guy's hustle. Honestly, he was putting on a show where, I don't know, and nobody knew how he was going to pull it off. He wanted to create a show where his lineup was so sick. All the best speakers in the world were going to be at his show. And I don't know how he did it, but he filled up that arena, and it was a really, really great show. Now, we had really great guests like David Goggins, Andy Frisella, Ed Milet, Cody Sanchez, Pace Morby, Ryan Pineda, Ty Lopez was even there. Dude, a lot of great people who I didn't even know. I met a lot of great people outside of the event, but it was a really great event. It was a one-day event in Salt Lake, Utah. I love Utah. I don't know, the energy. Maybe it's the mountains. I don't know what it is. But this is probably the third event I went to all year, and I was not going to go on a vacation or to another event just because I already took too many vacations and I was trying to limit my spending, but I felt like I needed to go because I don't know what it was. Earlier last month or a couple of months ago, in the beginning of the year, I was zooming. I was working, I was hitting my goals, and I was nonstop, and then pretty much I hit my goals and I was like, okay, I'm chilling. And then I started just maintaining, going a little down, feeling unmotivated. So whenever I do that, and this is the way I cure my stuff, right, is I take vacations. I take 3 to 4 vacations, sometimes maybe 2, but I try to take at least 4 vacations every single quarter. And every single time I come on vacation, I rewire my brain and I come back even more hungry. And that's what happened. I went to this event and now I am on fire. I want to achieve so many different things where I'm willing to sacrifice everything to get what I want. And let's talk about the first speaker. I don't know if I have the notes in here. I should have the notes here. Limitless Arena. First speaker, Jim Quick. Now, I'm not going to give you a history of Jim Quick. I don't know who he is. Honestly, it was the first time I even saw the guy. I did see his face around in the social media space, so I wasn't surprised by him. But there's a couple of things that you want to go ahead and get from the guy. He actually gave us a couple of different things, right? Honestly, I wrote a couple of notes. I didn't realize I was going to do this for you guys, so my notes are a little jinky. So Jim Quick, I can't really tell you much about him, but I know he has a book, Limitless Expanded Edition. He's known for teaching people how to retain knowledge, learn better skills, and use their brain to the best of its capacity. I don't know if you guys knew this, but we forget 80% of the things that we learn. For me, even for myself, one of the most difficult things that I have and the things that can make me a better salesman is remembering the person's name. That's why for me, one of the best things that I do is I write down that person's name so I won't forget and I have something to look at in case I do. But most people don't realize that they forget 80% of what they learn. Now, you guys have to realize that there's things that go into your brain that you have limited space. I don't watch sports. I don't watch football. I don't keep up with music. I don't keep up with fashion. I don't keep up with social media. I don't keep up with trending topics. I don't keep up with gossip. All of my brain is just business stuff. And everything else I forget about, which is sometimes a weird thing that a lot of people don't realize. The biggest takeaway that I got from Jim Quick is that life is like the letter C between B and D. You guys know your alphabet, right? C equals choice. Choose mindset, choose motivation, and choose method. If you're able to gain all of these three little things, you would be so much better. How do you gain these things? There's like 7 keys to being a great boss. The first way is to teach. If you want to learn, if you want to retain more knowledge, teach somebody. That's why I love talking to people and I love teaching things. In fact, I love teaching you guys because this is how I retain my own knowledge and I become even better myself. Teaching people. It's called the explanation effect. You explain it to somebody else, you're going to learn it. Actually, I learned this when I was in college, right? So there was a point in my life where I went to Cal State Northridge and I was studying economics. During my last year of college, I was working, I think I was working at T-Mobile at that point. Either way, I signed up my classes where I would go to class 2-3 times a week. But I would take these really long classes. I would take the 3-hour classes because the 2-hour classes were just, the 1-hour classes were just too slow for me. So I took the longer classes. There was a class, I forgot which class it was, but it was one of my last classes for economics. And in this class, the professor would literally teach for the first half of the class, and the second half of the class, he would put a problem up on the board and we had to solve it. Well, your boy here would have to work in order to pay his bills, so he would miss the first half of the class. So one of the things that I like to use to cheat in life is getting other experts. And the way I was able to graduate college is by getting friends. This is what I did. I found the smartest person in the room that got it, and I asked him to teach me. Once he taught me, because I'm able to learn so fast, because God loves me and he gives me a good brain, I was able to teach everyone else because he would teach and his explanation was just so horrible where only if you understood numbers, you're going to be able to understand him. So he would teach he would try to teach these 3 people, and then I basically told him, just teach me, right? And then he taught me and I got it. And then right after, because I got it, there was people in our same group that wanted to learn as well. And then I took the time to teach them. And this literally happened for the whole entire class where I would miss the first half, have to just learn on my own by somebody else, and then teach everyone else. And I learned and I passed that class with one of the highest grades, and people were kind of weirded out because I would not even show up to class or show up for half of the class, and I would still do better on tests. And this is how I found out that you learn better when you teach other people and when you get other experts. And the next thing is your health, your brain health. So he has this thing called MEDRS, MEEDRS. Meditation, exercise, engagement, diet, sleep, relationships, belief, observation, state, and strategy. Meditation, if you guys don't meditate, it's something that I would highly, highly encourage you guys to do. Can't explain too much because I very know view of meditation. I do meditate every now and then. In fact, I have a diffuser that helps me meditate. I've come to the conclusion that it just helps me stop thinking at so many different things. If you guys are wired like me, you think of all these different things at the same time. Meditation helps slow your brain down. Exercise. I wake up every single morning at 5:30, 6 a.m. to go exercise because when I do exercise, I can learn better, I can achieve better, and I can be better. Engagement. So just participating. Like, say, for example, in my sales organization, when we have training, you want to participate. That's how you get better. Diet, the way you eat. Dude, people don't realize what you put in yourself, what kind of food you put into yourself, has a really important thing when it comes to retaining knowledge. Like, I don't know if you guys realize, when you guys eat fast food, right after you eat fast food, you feel like shit. You feel like, ugh. Like, no, dude, you're not supposed to feel that way. That's why I don't even eat fast food anymore. In fact, I try to eat very, 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 very clean now. I rarely ever eat like shit. In fact, I get meal plans sent to me every single day. And if I do eat out, I'm eating fine dining. Like right now, I just went to a steakhouse, and that was amazing, better than what I cook. But what you put in your body is going to affect your performance, is going to affect your brain. So stop putting crappy stuff into yourself. Sleep. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I wear an Oura ring. I track my sleep every single day because sleep is one of the most important things that you can do for your body, for your brain. That's how you get better. You need sleep. For those of you guys that are staying out late, partying, drinking, and not getting enough sleep, this is why you're probably a loser. Relationships with certain people. You guys have heard this saying where it goes, you are who you are based on the 5 people that you hang around with, right? Look at your 5 friends. If your 5 friends are losers, they're overweight, not making money, not being socially active, not trying to be better, not trying to win at life, you're probably the 5th loser around there. And if you're that one unique individual that is hanging out with 4 different losers and you want to get out of this group, listen to me now. Run away. These guys are losers. Run away and join a high-performing group. Find better friends. And that's why I went to the event, because when you go to these events, you find people that are not losers. I tell people, you are who you are based on the people who you hang out with. I am at the point in my life where I have cut off so many people because I just don't want to deal with negativity. I don't want to deal with problems that are not really problems. People that live in the past, I don't want to deal with that. With drama, with this happened in the world and I feel this about it. Crying about your feelings, crying about how life is unfair, how you don't make enough money and you're not doing anything about it, how you're lazy. I don't want to hang out with people like that. I don't. I've cut off so many people in my life right now. I do not care how long our relationship is, how long we've been friends for. I'm not telling you that I never want to see you again. I just want to spend less time with you because I am on different paths, and that is okay. That is okay to be on a completely different path compared to your friends. Yes, guys, it's going to be hard. That's why I make this content for you guys, because you guys have to realize that you are not alone. You can have friends in other states, in other cities, and far, far away. It's called networking. That is okay. Some of you guys will lose friends. That is okay. You make more friends. There's so many people in the world. There's over 8 billion people in the world. Trust me, there are people exactly like you, exactly going through the same issues as you, exactly on the same road as you, wanting to be better, reading books, engaging with valuable information. Belief. Some of you guys are so negative. I don't know what it is. I wake up so positive, maybe because my life is freaking great, but a lot of people wake up and they're like dreading to go to work, dreading to like live life. And I'm like, dude, why? Like, why? You don't see how amazing life is? Life is freaking amazing. I love life. So you have to believe that you can do things. Most people can't even believe that they are better, that they can be better, that they can be that person they see on the TV, that can pick up that girl, they can pick up that boy, and they can live the life that they want. A lot of it is just belief. Observation. Dude, some of you guys learn by just seeing things. You're not going to learn, but if you keep seeing the same thing, that's why I hang out with certain people. Like, say, for example, how I became such a great salesman, right? Dude, I wasn't this good at sales. I learned from teachers, from books, from podcasts, from people online, from trainings, from mentors. That's where I learned, observing the people that I want to be like. State and strategy. I forgot what state is, so sorry. Strategy. Dude, repeat. Habits, systems, processes. I have a whole entire morning routine. I'll tell you guys my morning routine in another episode. It's not complicated. It's not like write your journal, blah, blah, blah. No, forget all that. My routine is my routine. It works for me. You can do what you want. But doing certain things repetitively is how you learn. My morning routine is very simple. I go ahead and wake up, do my thing, go to the gym, come back, take a cold shower, and hear a podcast. That's my morning routine. I don't have much. My sleep routine is very, very similar. I try to go to sleep by like 9 o'clock. I put my diffuser on, and then I go ahead and I read. I try to read 10 pages, and that's how I fall asleep better. That's how I get better sleep. But coming up with a strategy is how you learn. Now, I'm going to give you guys one more speaker, because this speaker is the reason why I went to the Limitless Arena the Muscle. I'm sorry, the Muscle, but I forgot your first name. Big buff guy, has a beautiful house, beautiful family. That guy is killing it. He's underrated in the social media space. If you guys don't know him, I would say go follow him. He's very, 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 very real. For some of you guys, he may be too aggressive. For me, he's more than not too aggressive. But the Muscle, dude, he came out and he's selfish. And then, you know what? A lot of people can call him selfish, but I don't care because I'm selfish myself. And if I was him, I would do the exact same thing. He came out on stage and told us a really, really great story that moved a lot of people in the room, including myself. Thank you so much for sharing that. In his message, he had 3 things. You have to dream, you have to have a vision, and you have to act on that dream. Look, I just got goosebumps telling you guys this. People don't realize that they can do anything that they want in their life. This guy has been wanting to be a speaker for a really, really long time. And a lot of people were not giving him the opportunity. I don't know why. So instead of complaining about it, like a lot of people do, he went ahead and made a really big event where he can perform at his own conference. That was his dream. That was his vision. And he acted on it. And he acted on it in record time, which was like less than 6 months. I don't know how that guy did it, but he did it. You guys all have different dreams. I have dreams. I have really, really great dreams, and I'm so close to getting them. I'm this close to getting all my dreams. And you guys are too. Those dreams that you think are only dreams, they're not only dreams. They can be more than dreams. They can be your reality. For me, I don't know, maybe it's me being too optimistic, but a lot of people love to sleep, right? Everyone has this thing where they love sleeping. Maybe because they're lazy. Maybe because their life and their dream is so much better than their real life. I think it's really that. But for me, I kind of don't like sleeping. I love sleeping because it gives me back my energy. But when it comes to my dreams, I have the best dreams. But my best dreams are when I wake up. When I wake up and I know that I wake up, I am so freaking happy at the fact that I get another day to chase my dreams, to live the life that I've always wanted. And I have dreams. I have dreams of owning multiple businesses, blowing up on YouTube, becoming a social status, changing people's lives, and just doing cool shit with cool people, right? I have a vision to grow this Don't Get Nailed podcast for you guys, to meet really cool people, to live a life where I can look back at my 20-year-old self when I'm 50-something years old or 60, 70, 80-something years old and be like, look at you. You went ahead and did everything that you ever said you were. And even if you didn't, boy, do you not regret not trying. A lot of you guys are going to regret not trying in your life, not trying to live the best life you can possibly live. So you guys have to visualize. How do you guys visualize and get the life that you want? Dude, there's this exercise that I do with a lot of people when they start to do their self-improvement journey, right? Dream. Everyone dreams, have a big life, things like this. Let's put this into an example. Let's put this and wire it and dumb it down for you guys, because I love dumbing things down. Because why do things have to be so complicated? They don't. You could dumb things down and people can understand them if you dumb things down. I love dumb things. Anyways, dream. You have to have a dream. What is your dream? Something big, hopefully. Vision. Now you start to picture out that dream. In the most simplest ways, let's say, for example, a lot of people, they want a really, really nice car or a nice house. Let's start with the house. When I ask people, like, what do you want? What do you want in life? What do you want? They want a nice house. They want a nice car. They want a nice family. Well, let's dig a little bit deeper. What kind of house? Is it a house here in LA? How many rooms? How many bedrooms? What do you want it to have? What color is it? What kind of windows do you have? Or let's say, for example, a car. What kind of car do you want? Do you want a sports car? Do you want a Lamborghini? Do you want an Audi? Do you want a Tesla? What kind of car do you want? What color is it? How are the seats? What color are the seats? You see, when you start visualizing and start making it a reality, it starts to become closer. I know what I want. Like for me, honestly, I'll tell you guys right now, and maybe in a couple of years it might change, because it probably will based on whoever I end up marrying. I hate houses. I don't want a house because I'm in construction and I realize all the maintenance that goes into a house. I don't want one. I would rather live in a condo, because it's less maintenance, less headaches, and I'm a really minimalistic guy. That guy. And that's what I want. I really want a nice penthouse. I don't know if it's ideal for a family, because that's what I want, but according to whoever I marry, hopefully she has the same vision, but I will probably give in and get a house because she wants to raise family. But best believe we're going to come back to the condo whenever we get old and dry and still cute. But yeah, little things like that. I visualize where I want to live. I know how much it costs to live where I want to live. In fact, in today's numbers, it costs me $5,000 a month to live in the place that I want to live. And if I want to put the icing on the cake, you can go all the way up to $10,000. But that's it. That's it. $5,000. In fact, I've already priced out what I need to make in order to live the life that I want. And in fact, I can probably live that life whenever I start consistently making $20,000 a month, because I've hit those numbers before and life is already freaking great. So the last piece of the puzzle is acting on the dream. And it took me a really long time to learn this. In fact, I used to read a lot of self-improvement books when I first started. I don't really read them anymore because now, I'm not saying I'm the best, but I got it. I got the whole self-improvement. You go ahead and see the problem, you find a solution, and you do the solution. The doing part is the hardest part. A lot of people fall into the analysis paralysis where they start overthinking on all these possible things that can possibly go wrong and all these, I want this to be perfect, I want it to be this way, and I'm blah, 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 blah. Like, no. The last thing you want to do to get the life that you want, to get your dreams, to get your vision, is you have to act on that dream. You have to go ahead and act. Like, you have to just show up. A lot of people just don't show up, which is like the craziest part, because I have these conversations with a lot of people, everyday people, who they see me and they're doing shit and they're like, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I really start to squeeze a little bit because I love helping people. And even when they don't ask it, I try to, because I want what's best for people. So the other day I had a conversation with somebody who, you know, is living their regular life and they want something better. And I asked them, well, why don't you do that? Why don't you pursue your dreams? Like, what's next? He's like, well, I'm too busy, which is the excuse that everyone gives, right? Okay, well, what do, right? Like, where's your time? Where's your time management? And we start kind of listing out the things, what they do, and realize that their weekends are free. Your weekends normally for a lot of people are free. But the thing is that people work a 9-to-5 job and are sucking the life out of a job that they don't like, and they get to their weekend and they're just so happy not to be working. What? When you're not working, when you're on your weekends, that's the time to chase your dreams. That's the time you put in the work to not party, to not hang out with your loser friends, but to work on your dreams. It is Saturday night, and I'm recording a podcast because this is my dream. I am acting on my dream. I'm visualizing on my dream, and I am doing my dream on a Saturday night because that is what is important for me. That is what I want in my life. A lot of people lag on the acting part because they want to be lazy. They want to be in the same spot. They just want to be a dreamer forever. Or some people just want to be visualizers forever and never chase their actual dreams. Dude, you're going to have to sacrifice. Sacrifice your weekends to get your dreams. But guys, these are just the first 2 speakers I have on the list. I still have David Goggins, Gary Vee, Ed Milet, Russell Brunson, Eric Thomas, Cody Sanchez, Pace Morby, Brad Lee, and I didn't even take notes on Andy Frisella, but best believe that's all in here. I got you guys. Pace Morby, dude. These guys are all killers. And there was a lot more speakers in this thing. There was like panels and stuff, and I'll see if I put some video clips up for you guys in the show. But guys, these are all the speakers. Next speakers that we're going to talk about, I started taking better notes after these 2 guys. David Goggins and Gary Vee. So if you guys are not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe, because next episode we're going to be talking about what I learned from David Goggins and what I learned from Gary Vee. Guys, you guys want to be in this episode because you guys get all the juice, and I had to pay $1,000 for that trip. $1,000 it cost me to go to Utah and pay for my tickets and fly out there, plus all the unforeseen costs of me taking time off. But who cares about that, right? I need you guys to get golden hammers in this show. I want to give you guys golden hammers. Hopefully by the next show I order my golden hammer so I can slam it on this thing, because I think that's pretty cool. Guys, what do you think? I think this is a great name for the show. I love the concept. I love the golden hammers. I already have a sound that I'm really ready to put into this show. But yeah, it was 2 episodes and I found the name, but we're acting on our dream. We're visualizing. We're doing what we have to do. Honestly, guys, I couldn't be any happier of where I am in my life. I couldn't be any happier. The fact that I'm chasing my dreams. I don't know. Maybe my 50-year-old self is going to look at this video one day and be like, you tried, bro. Because I don't know. I don't know if this thing's going to pop off. I don't know if this YouTube channel is going to pop off. This podcast is going to pop off. I don't know if this is even insightful for a lot of people. I don't know if I'm entertaining enough. Just kidding. I know I'm entertaining. But this is what I want. Dude, I've come to the point in my life. I'm about to be 27. And making money is fun. This year, I probably made about $200,000. Most amount of money I've ever made in my life. But soon enough, like, everyone realizes, and you guys are going to realize it for yourself, making six figures is not enough. Never will it be. Money would just never be enough. It doesn't fill your void of happiness. It just doesn't. It does solve a lot of your issues. Like, I'm so grateful for the fact that I don't have to worry about bills, right? I don't have to worry about buying nice things. I don't. As long as I continue to push through, I never will. But money does not solve every single issue. It doesn't. It can solve a lot of them. I'll tell you that. It does solve a lot of them, like good looks, body, nice things, being more confident. It does solve a lot of those things, but it doesn't solve everything. That's why, for me, I don't really care about making a lot of money anymore. This YouTube channel is it's not about making a lot of money. It's just about really documenting my life and sharing with my 50-year-old self. But also kind of the fact that there's a lot of people that need help, and I can't help everyone. I am very limited on my time. I can't give you my time. I'm thinking about charging for my time just because I do know that there's some people that have specific questions about themselves. I don't know, because that takes away from so many different projects that I have going on right now. But a lot of people try to go ahead and ask me to dinner, ask me to pick my brain, or when I start teaching them something, they nonstop badger me with questions. And as much as I love helping other people and love answering their questions, I just can't, bro. I just can't be there all the time. I can't answer your questions and get you off of level 0, dude. I can, but like, I don't have the time. Watch these videos, watch the podcast. I guarantee you, every single time you watch this, you will get a golden hammer. You will get a piece of information that you can take with you and apply it to your life. And I guarantee you 100%, your life will be so much better. I put it on everything, That's what I want to do with this channel. I want to give you guys golden hammers so you guys can completely change your life, because I'm sorry, I just can't be there and hold your hand and do it for you. I just can't, but you can. You can change your life. I guarantee everyone can change their life if they really want to. So guys, if you guys enjoyed the show, if you guys have questions whatsoever, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see you guys next time.